So yeah, the year is 2025. Bad games seem to be flopping, good games are rising up. Maybe the winds are changing a bit. I hope it ends up being a good year. Honestly, anything could happen. For example, we could even see an older 360 game that looked awesome back in the day, that was then cancelled and now coming out this year. When I saw Captain Blood back in the day, it looked exactly like something I wanted to play. I love playing all of those action games. Yes, of course, the main ones, like say Ninja Gaiden, Devil May Cry, the good God of War games, and then you had all the others that were heavily inspired by one of those three. There were many God of War clones, and they were generally fun. It was a good formula, something they should bring back, maybe even to God of War itself, considering how the new one is more interested in trying to bore me and have a camera that hugs my character so tightly that I can't even see what's going on, unlike the originals. I digress. So when I saw Captain Blood, I was like, I want that. And then I saw it got revived and I'm like, yes, I still want that. It was supposed to come out last year, but then crickets, nothing. And I was worried that this was going to get cancelled or canned again, which would be a shame. But now it's coming this May. Why am I interested in this title? Well, for one, it looks like a solid action game, not a Souls-like, no stamina bar stuff or anything like that, just an action game. Or as some would call it, a character action game, which I don't understand these made-up genres. That and immersive sim. Oh, you mean an RPG? But more importantly, back to Captain Blood. An action game. It looks good. We are in this weird period in gaming where the industry really likes looking back, and sadly in many cases it seems like they are doing this in a lack of a creative kind of way. Don't get me wrong, I love a remake when it's done well, but it's becoming overdone, where something like a new property or even just a sequel that progresses the story instead of looking back might be a better option. So now we have this smaller game coming out that feels like a long-lost Xbox 360 game, because it is in fact a long-lost Xbox 360 game. It feels completely fresh, it ticks the box of the industry wanting to look back to a prior period in gaming, but it's in fact a new game, or rather a canned one that is now being finished. While I cannot speak on the overall quality of the finished game of Captain Blood, there is hope that this game is going to be good, and if it makes a big enough splash, we might even see a few good other games coming out of it. One being maybe there is room for a sequel, or even more games of this kind made by this company. After they finish this game, maybe they could make some others. Or maybe you'll see other companies get inspired by this one, with a new spin on it. I look forward to either one of those. Every so often, I would go to the Steam page for Captain Blood and see if the release date changed to something more specific than coming soon. I'm like, this has said coming soon for a while now. Is soon ever gonna come? I guess this also points to how the games industry currently is, in that I'm more interested in a game that's more like the past than any of the big AAA stuff coming out today. I speak about this a lot on the channel, that I miss the fun. I want fun to return to gaming. I remember when we go on adventures, whether it was an action game like this, or RPG or other stuff, and we would just get this great piece of escapism. Then a lot of talented companies got infiltrated, and we ended up getting a lot of hack and pushy and pretentious writing. In some cases, games even forgot to be games. Look, I love involved stories as well, but you need to actually give me some meaningful gameplay. Plus, so many big AAA games are ones where developers are just trying to make it so big that it feels bloated, or live service type of stuff, where it just tries to suck more money out of the player. Then I look at Captain Blood, something more simpler, a relic from a better time, and I see the fun that I've been missing. I really hope it ends up delivering, because I really want this to be good. If you are interested like I was about this game, when I initially heard it was coming back last year, they put out a demo. That's always a great sign, shows some confidence in your product, and lets us players get a taste for it. The demo covers what appears to be the opening section of the game. Outside of some setup with the initial cutscenes, you're in it, hacking, slashing, and even shooting away at enemies. The best way to describe it is it kinda plays and feels with how it looks. Captain Blood is both really enjoyable and very familiar in a great way. Again, I saw this as a throwback title, but this is a title that was also made back then, now being brought back now and finished. As you hack and slash at enemies, you will increase your combo. This will then increase how much gold you will earn, which will factor into the upgrades that you can purchase. You have 2 attack buttons for the meat of your sword action. The hacking and slashing feels good and satisfying. You have a gun that you can whip out and fire off for a quick hit. You need to then wait for it to recharge, but you don't need to worry about ammo. Captain Blood has some other cool elements where at set parts, you'll be able to pick up enemy weapons, sort of allowing you to use something else outside of your main sword for a bit. I really loved using the big sword as it provided a very wide swing, and you'll be able to hit a lot of guys all at once, cutting through everybody. I like this system a lot because it's done well. The game will keep throwing new weapons at you to try and use throughout the experience. That will be really fun, and I can't wait to see what kind of weapons that they have here. It sort of brings me back to Streets of Rage, where you'd pick up different weapons in that beat 'em up. Captain Blood also has a rage bar. Using this will allow you to deal more damage, and not take damage for a short period of time. Some foes will even be weakened, and then you can perform an execution on them. I honestly really loved how linear the demo was. My guess is that most of the stages are going to operate just like the one in the demo. Watch some cutscenes, go to a new location, beat everyone up with your sword, fight some new enemies, use some new weapons, buy an upgrade or 2, and then go on to the next spot. There is a portion of the demo where you play as another character. This section is not as enjoyable as the Captain Blood parts, but the variety, at least so far, is appreciated. I generally am not a fan of QuickTime events, but given when this game was initially made, it kinda makes sense why they are found here in this title. I wonder what the breakdown will be between the 2 characters, and which form of gameplay is going to be more dominant. Personally, I hope you play more as Captain Blood. So yeah, Captain Blood finally has a release date. I believe it is coming to all major systems digitally. I wonder if they'll do some sort of limited physical run at some point. Simply, this title looks like a lot of fun, something we very much need. And maybe this can create a trend, where we see more titles like this coming out. I miss action games, just like this one. Give me more stuff like this. And if the rest of the game is as solid as the demo, then I think we're in for a good time. Have you heard of or tried the demo for Captain Blood? Let me know all of this in the comments down below. If you're interested in supporting the channel, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you can help to keep this channel going strong, and this allows me to be able to do more for my awesome audience. Please check out the links in the description and pinned comment for ways to support the channel. And most of all, thank you very much for watching.